What's up guys, it's your boy at Cross Flipper here. I'll be doing my pizza dough for today, giving you guys the recipe that I use. Super easy, and it's even easier if you've got a stand mixer like right here. I've got the cream of the crop, the name in kitchen stand mixers. This is the Kitchen A stand mixer, okay? And I'm gonna be using both the mixing hook, what I call a shark fin, and the dough hook today, okay? So we're gonna start with 2 cups of warm water, okay? So you want this like a comfortable bath water, okay? Not scorching hot, not cool at all, just nice warm water. So we're gonna go ahead and put that in to go ahead and start. And I'm gonna go ahead and just dump it straight into that mixing bowl. This recipe is gonna yield about 4 nice dough balls that make you about a 12 to 14 inch pizza depending on the thickness that you like. I'm gonna get my instant dry yeast right here. And what I'm going for here is 2 teaspoons. Okay, so I've got half there. I need about 4 of these bad boys, okay? And put that in there. And then we're gonna want something sweet to activate this yeast, all right? So what I've got right here is just regular old cane sugar. Okay, you can use a tablespoon of honey, a tablespoon of agave, just some kind of a sweetener to kind of help get that yeast going. So I'm gonna take 1 tablespoon and I'm gonna mix it in right there. All right, and what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna use my fingers. Remember, wash your hands, don't be a savage. And I'm just gonna mix that all together to get that strain going right there. And what I'm gonna do is just let this, I'm gonna break down all the pieces. Okay, I don't want any clumps in there. Right, so I'm just using my fingertips to mix this around, break it down. And this should take a few minutes. It's gonna start bubbling like real nice. We're looking for that nice yeasty smell and some bubblage happening. I'm gonna cover this up with a towel and I'm gonna let it rest for about 15 minutes. And here we go. We've got some nice bubblage going right there. Let's go ahead and start the rest of our dough. What we're gonna need is some flour, some kosher salt, okay, and our mixer, okay? Oh, and a little bit of oil. I'm gonna take my stand mixer here and attach the water that I've got going in there. My yeast mixture. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take my shark fin right here and go ahead and put that on. All right, so what we're gonna do is start slowly mixing in 5 cups of flour. All right, so what I'll normally do is I'll put the first one, the first cup of flour. Now I'm using Peter Pan. You can use whatever the hell you want. Okay. So Peter Pan all-purpose flour is what I'm using. All right, so I've got that first cup in. I'm gonna go ahead and just drop this, lock it, and then start it at a... Okay, and then we're gonna start mixing it at a very slow speed. All right, at this point, I'm gonna go ahead and add about a teaspoon of salt. Okay, I add salt to everything. It's a flavor enhancer. All right, and then I'm gonna throw my second cup in. So the second cup of flour is gonna just dump right in there. Okay. Right here, I'm gonna throw about a teaspoon of extra virgin olive oil in there just to smoothen out the dough a little bit. So I pretty much just eyeball that, the salt. The only thing that I really use the measuring cup for is the flour. All right, so I've got that mixing right there. Here's number 3. Don't lose track of your flour now, okay? Okay, I'm gonna let that clump up a little bit more. You can see some good mixing process going here. Okay, here comes number 4 here. Okay, and let that mix in for a little bit. And we're gonna do number 5. Okay, so that's about all of our flour that's going in there. Okay, we're gonna give that a couple minutes to clump together. Let's go ahead and stop that right there. Lift this up, and all I'm gonna do is, this is gonna be maybe a little bit sticky. You can flour up your hands, but I'm just gonna push this out off the hook and back into the bowl here. Just using my hands, pushing it out. Okay, and off this hook. Alright, I'm gonna take my shark fin off. Toss it aside in the sink here. Now it's time for our dough hook. Lock and load. Put that down there, lock it, and then I'm just gonna go about probably 8 minutes here with the dough hook. We're gonna let this thing knead for about 8 minutes here. Alright, it's not an exact science. If it looks like it's not smooth and needs a little bit more, you can give it a little bit more time. If it looks good enough to you, you can bring it up early. Letting that knead, what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna go ahead and grease the pan here. And that's what it looks like while it's kneading. Just trust that process, guys, trust that process. See that? We got a little tornado flavor happening right there. Alright, so what I'm going to do now is I've kneaded it for a couple minutes. I'm going to go ahead and just pick it up. I'm going to drop it off this hook here. You can see it's still pretty clumpy. So what I'm going to do is just let it fall off this hook for a little bit. Take those excess pieces out. Push it in there. And I'm gonna cover it up and I'm gonna let it rest for about 5 minutes or so, okay? 5-10 minutes, we're just gonna let it sit there and do nothing. Alright, so we've rested it. Let's go ahead and drop. Lock and give it another few minutes of some knead action here. Okay. Alright, so this dough's looking pretty smooth here. We're gonna go ahead and stop right there and smooth it out and form a ball. Do is stop, lift this up a little bit here. It's nicely kneaded. Okay, so I'm gonna take my dough ball here and I'm just gonna make it into a nice ball. Okay, just fold it into itself. And smooth it out. Pan that I'm gonna grease up with just some olive oil spray. Okay, I'm gonna take my dough ball, place it in the pan there. Okay, we're gonna cover it with some a little sheet of parchment paper just so it won't stick to the towel, and then we're just gonna throw a towel over it. Okay, and we're gonna let this dough ball rest so it doubles in size. It's gonna be about an hour and a half to 2 hours. Alright, and here it is. More than tripled in size there. So, we're ready to divide this thing up into 4 equal parts, okay? So let's go ahead and take care of that right now. So drop it right there, deflate it. Just gonna slice it right in half there. Do another one right over the top. Is I want to take these pieces and I'm gonna bring one corner to this edge, one corner to that edge, flip it over. I'm gonna start making little balls out of these, okay? So I'm rolling it on itself, and then I'm just gonna pull here and try and get some little air pockets going in here. Okay, so we're gonna round them out. Okay, that's one dough ball. So once again, we're folding, turning over. Okay, and you can see I kind of let this dough dry out a little bit too much. Still salvageable, not a big deal. Fold, fold, in, and just pull on these things. What I'm gonna do right now, I'm gonna take my pan and grease it up. Okay, and then we're gonna put our dough balls and separate them out. What I'm gonna do too is spray the top here. Take my parchment and just keep them from sticking. And I'm gonna take my metal hook and just seal this up. Prevent any air leaks from coming in here. Okay, and I'm gonna go ahead and refrigerate this overnight. We'll make a companion video on how to stretch the dough out and everything. So overnight should be good. Okay, and that's it. That's basically how dough's done. All right, thanks for watching. Hit me up on Instagram at CrossFlipper if you guys have any questions.